So a couple of news stories coming out of Microsoft concerning features in games as well as Scorpio updates. For starters, I'll hit on a story real quick that came out a couple of days ago, but I still want to mention it. Scorpio will feature an internal power supply, which I don't believe is surprising to anybody considering the freak out over the external one in the original Xbox, which I never really did understand that much. I always thought, if something happens to the cord, I can just easily go and replace it. Plus, it's behind my TV stand, so I never see it anyway. But, people have different setups, different preferences, so to me, it's whatever. We also learned that 4K games isn't the only 4K capability of the Scorpio. It's also going to feature a 4K 60 frames per second DVR and will be able to stream at that rate as well for programs like Netflix, which is going to be a huge step up considering that the current DVR records at 720p and 30 frames per second on the Xbox One. And that would actually put it into the top tier when it comes to game capture devices. Like, it's really difficult to go out and buy a off-the-shelf recorder that will capture at 4K 60 frames per second. Most of them won't even record at 4K. If you go look at Elgato, Avermedia, some of the more popular recorders out there. So you usually need a high-end PC with a high-end graphics card in order to not only play at this setting, but also to be able to record at it. So that's going to put them definitely in the top tier whenever that's concerned. Microsoft's streaming service Beam has been recently testing 4K streams, so it's clear that streaming 4K isn't just going to be for PC users, and it's going to also really up the quality when it comes to content that you're going to see online, which is going to be good for Microsoft to advertise their games and systems by basically letting you do the advertising for them. So if you see a video on YouTube and it's a game playing in 4K, I mean, people are going to say, wow, that looks really good, or at least that's what should happen, you would think. My only concern, though, would be the storage for that sort of content because, Microsoft limits your cloud storage quite a bit. And so whenever you up that quality with 4K and 60 frames per second, that is a lot of data. So you're going to need a massive hard drive for that sort of thing, unless Microsoft does increase their cloud storage for saved clips. And then finally, Microsoft is rolling out a new feature that will be available on Xbox One and Windows 10. They actually say that it's available today, although I haven't received the update. But it's basically a translator that works two different ways for game chat. The first is speech to text, which will let the game translate your voice. So as you're talking through your microphone, the game's going to translate it and display it as text in the game for people in real time, which I'm assuming is going to be really nice for people who maybe don't have their headsets plugged in or they don't have their volume up. Maybe it's late at night, everybody's sleeping, so they're not able to talk and things like that, but that way they can still understand what's going on in the game with their teammates. The other way is text to speech, which would allow you to type a text in game and it be spoken aloud to other players in the game, and you can even customize the voice that other people hear whenever your chat text is read aloud, which I think is also going to be really handy, especially for people like me on the PC, because sometimes I don't notice the text chat in game because I'm focused on other things, so I don't have time to look up or down or whatever it is and read all the text messages. So this way, if I still wanted to hear what people are saying or typing, I could turn that feature on, which also sounds like a nice feature, especially for the PC and people like me, because a lot of times if I'm playing a game, I'm focused on something, I don't a lot of times notice the text. And so one thing, if you're in a game with me and you're trying to type to me and I'm not replying, it's probably not because I'm ignoring you. It's because I really don't see what's happening in the text because I'm focused on something else. But this way, I could still figure out and hear people, or I guess sort of hear people that are talking in game. Because I remember back in the day, whenever you jumped into a game, everybody was talking, everybody was communicating, things like that. And now, since they've introduced party chats, everybody's in their own little groups, you rarely hear people talk anymore in a lot of games. So I've seen that trend definitely go downhill over the years. Maybe this will help bring a little bit better teammates in the future. This is a feature, however, that's going to have to be implemented into the games themselves. So apparently it can't roll out across the board. Microsoft says they're going to start start testing this feature with Halo Wars 2. And again, they say the update should be available now, but I still haven't gotten it yet on the PC, and I'm not sure if it's yet available on the Xbox, but you can go check it out. But I think it's a pretty cool feature, and it'll be interesting to see how well it works and is able to translate. And then I wonder what all they're going to censor. For the latest gaming news as it happens, follow me on Twitter and check out videogamesandnews.com. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.
Are you listening? Damn.